Yeah, weird. I just did something, so I hope that fixes it. I had to reset my mic in XSplit because my mic has been giving me issues, and I'm going to have to get it replaced, probably. So yeah, that's great.
Yay.
Yay. To be fair, I do use this mic a lot. So it was time. I think it's time. I've been using this since we did Four Idiots.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was 2 houses ago for me, and I've been here for 2 years.
That was a house ago for me. So, what was that? 2012 at the very latest? 11 or 12, somewhere in there.
That probably would have been 2011, actually.
Yeah, it probably 2011, you're right. Yeah,
2011 or 2012, because I moved into this place in 2013.
okay. Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, so somewhere in there. So 4 to 5 years, roughly, of doing something with this mic every week at least. This mic has seen a long, hard road. It's ready to be put to rest. But we're not yet because this is a top-down perspective. Welcome. I don't know how to make that transition any better. I am Paul. With me is John.
Yo.
As we
I apologize in advance. I might be sick. My throat's shot, so that's why I look a little out of it.
from all the screaming at PAX, where you were last week.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that? Talk about PAX. Was it great?
It was good. It was good. It was a PAX.
Great.
That's the best way to put it, really.
Yeah.
I played 2 games there, and I keep forgetting the name of the second one. Every single time I've thought of it, the name escapes me.
How often did you go to the console room?
Classic
Be honest.
console,
Yeah.
daily, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you probably played more than 2 games there, but they're older.
Yeah, and they all would have been like challenge stuff mainly, like Silver Surfer and Mario 3 and stuff like that. Uniracers.
Did you get any trophies or medals or anything this year?
I got 1.
For what?
Getting second place in Uniracers. I got shot down nonstop in everything I did.
People were gunning for you?
Oh man, I had Silver Surfer because I know that game well. Then, like to a point where the guy running the challenge was like, "All right, you need to do this specific stage and get a high score because I know you can probably beat the game." So I did that, and then everyone else was allowed to do any other stage, and it ends up scores depend on what stage you're on.
Okay.
And the one I was stuck with had the lowest score. So I had to go back and redo the challenge, and then people just found out how to grind out how to get points without getting hit. So it turned into basically just sitting at one of the bosses and grinding out the winning score. So I said fuck it and just went and do something else.
Yeah. There's a lot to do there, so
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Mario 3 turned into the same thing. It was Speedrun World 1-1.
Okay.
And then it was, if it was a tie in time, then it's a tie. Then it's broken by coins. And if it's a tie in coins, it's broken by score.
Okay.
And when I left, I had max time, 10 coins, and a slightly higher score. And then apparently I got beaten by 2 coins later on.
Oh, shit.
Ikaruga was just get the high score on the first stage.
Okay.
Which I set an okay score right off the bat, but I had to go to my panel, and by the time the panel was done and everything was done, it was too late to go back, so I lost that. Uniracers, I sat down for a while and just competed against another guy. We kept going back and forth. I got second place on that, which is how I got a medal.
Okay.
The Saturn Bomberman tournament, I got second place again 2 years in a row.
Nice.
But that doesn't get you any medals, so...
That's too bad.
Yeah, and then like in the minigame tournament, I got knocked out in a 3D Bomberman, so...
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it was a PAX.
It was a PAX.
People were doing a whole bunch of stuff, and you were playing classic games trying to beat other people.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to find your hobby somewhere, man.
It's true.
Because like most of the games there, I didn't really want to play because I'd either seen the ones I wanted to see at E3 or just didn't care about them.
Or and like they're out, and you could play it in the comfort of your own home, sort of thing. That's what I usually find with like.
There were so many games that were like out in a week that were demoed there.
Yeah. Did you take a look at the Indie Mega booth or any of that stuff? I'm always interested in what they're doing.
I did, and there was one game there that I really liked, but I can't for the life of me remember what it's called.
What was it?
It was a puzzle game, a competitive puzzle game where You had to remove 3 pieces of the same color in a row, and then just keep doing that to clear out the entire puzzle.
Okay.
But if you picked up the wrong color, the whole board reset. So it was a race to see who could keep doing that the fastest and get like 3 wins. It was something like Tumble something. It looked very similar to Magical Drop. I can never remember the name of it every single time. But it was really, really enjoyable.
I'm sure somebody in the chat will be able to fill us in because they're infinitely smarter than we are.
Well, I'm even looking at the pack schedule now because I know it had an official tournament.
Also, speaking of chat, I saw that Golden Geek. What the hell was his name now?
Tumblestone.
Tumblestone. Okay, I'm going to check that out after. Golden Tails Geek is saying that it's his 29th birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dude.
There's your shout out. You owe us money now, by the way. But it's okay because it's your birthday, so you're probably getting like a card with like $20 from your grandma or something. I'll tell you the PayPal address. You can just send that to. Actually, just send it to John's P.O. box. Actually, don't do that. Don't actually do that.
Wow.
I have to put a disclaimer in every time I say anything because people will do anything. Don't do that. Seriously, enjoy it. Go buy half a game or something. I don't know. All in all, though, how did your panel go? I'm interested. Like, there's always one problem you say with each panel.
This year we had 2.
Okay.
One right before it started, and then one near the tail end of it. Tail end of it was the panel crashes. Sometimes if too many commands are written in, it just straight up crashes.
Okay.
So usually I have it built in so that like it works just exactly for the hour length, but this time it crashed a little early. Okay. We had some solid contestants this time around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we went through a lot of options, a lot more than usual, and I think I eased up the questions a little bit too much.
You're still trying to find that balance, huh?
It's hard, man.
Some of the questions.
I had questions come up that people in the audience were like, "Oh, come on!" And then the contestant would be like, "I don't know the answer," and then everyone would freak out.
The Mega Man the Mega Man kid is what I'm thinking about.
That's one of them. The Tetris. You mean the Tetris kid? You said Pokemon.
No,
that was another one.
That sounds like it could lead to a bad time for that kid.
Yeah, the Tetris theme started playing, and the kid excitedly yelled "Pokemon," and then the audience kind of like booed him.
I understand where that comes from, though. Like, first of all, you're under pressure, and people are listening to you. But more importantly, like, when you hear something and you instantly recognize it, you just want to go for, like, your gut feeling, even though if you think about it for a second, you'll be able to pinpoint it a little bit better. So I always feel bad for the kids like that are so excited because they think they know the answer, and they're just off. It's heartbreaking every time, but kind of funny at the same time. That Mega Man kid, though, I felt so bad for him. Holy shit, people were mad.
Oh, man, one of the questions one of the contestants got was, how many K...
excited because they think they know the answer, and they're just off. It's heartbreaking every time, but kind of funny at the same time. That Mega Man kid, though, I felt so bad for him. Holy shit, people were mad.
Oh, man, one of the questions one of the contestants got was... how many Chaos Emeralds are there in most Sonic games? And he had never played a Sonic game before.
Did he just guess?
He guessed and he got it right.
Oh, nice.
But,
okay.
But the audience was just like, like freaking out. I had to say multiple times, "Audience, be nice." It was kind of funny.
Amazing.
So it was live streamed out too. So I think they were saying they had about 6,000 people watching online, which was good for the time slot we had.
Has that happened before? Has it been live streamed?
This is the second time.
The second time. Okay.
First time was PAX East last year.
Oh, okay.
And that was the one where like none of the consoles wanted to work.
Of course. How much more pressure does it add on you just knowing that like not only is there a room full of people that like maybe might be a bit more understanding because it's hard to be like a dick to somebody's face unless you're just a sociopath, but like knowing that the internet is probably yelling about something too. Does it add, like, another layer of pressure on you? Like, oh, this has to go well if it's going to be streamed.
Yeah, definitely did the first time.
Yeah.
This time wasn't nearly as bad, but still.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, yeah, before the show even started, I added Steam games to the challenge list this year.
Oh, okay.
So I had a bunch of Steam games snuck in there.
Like what?
And well, only one of them came up, so I'm only going to say that one, and that
Okay.
was Aben Hawkins and 1001 Spikes.
Oh, you're mean.
I am.
Yeah, you're a terrible person. I like it.
I gave the guy 5 lives, and he had to get through stage 2-1, which was the first stage in the original 1000 Spikes. If you remember that.
I don't, because like when we played that, it was on indie. It was an Xbox indie game that nobody had heard of. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it was that very first stage of that game. So he almost got to the end.
That's
but,
not the one with the alternating timed spikes, right?
God, no, I'm not that evil.
Okay, okay. That's the one that came to mind. I'm sorry.
I thought about that. I'm like, no, that'll just piss everyone off.
That
But I had
one's
that on there, and
brutal.
I had a bunch of multiplayer ones on there that just never came up. We only had like one audience challenge this year, I think.
As soon as we go offline, you're gonna tell me what else is there, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really stoked to hear this, but okay, cool.
Yeah, but so we added Steam games this year, but for some reason, the drivers I picked, because I was using PS3 controllers,
Mhm.
I forgot to pick the ones that don't work without an internet connection. So only one controller was working, and the second one wouldn't read.
Oh,
So we had a
no.
hotspot off of someone's phone for internet long enough to get the drivers, and then it worked.
That's
But
amazing.
that was like 5 minutes like over when we should have started. It was ridiculous.
Shout out to whoever's internet you were hijacking.
That would have been Massey's, so she saved
Okay.
my butt on that one.
There you go.
And Reese also saved my butt on this one because I was using her laptop because we had a tech issue at Con Bravo with my old like Windows XP laptop.
Is it the same video problem that you've had a few times, where
No.
like it doesn't connect to whatever they have?
No, it was a different one.
Okay.
At Con Bravo, it was a problem where it would get picture, but it would be too dark to see
Mm.
for on the projector for some reason. So we had to like set it up so that only I couldn't split the signal. I had to make sure it only went to the projector, and then it looked fine. But I'm not convinced that was actually a problem with my laptop. I think that was just their cords or their projector.
Reese is saying you played Lethal League too.
Oh shit, she's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so Lethal League was one of my challenges.
Oh, to face you in Lethal League.
Yeah.
I've been there. I wouldn't do it again. That's bullshit, man. Don't you have a
Yeah.
plaque?
I do from one of the Calgary events, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bullshit challenge, and you know.
Well, was it? We had 4 audience challenges this time around, or 4 TRG challenges this time around. 2 were me, 1 was Tim, and 1 was Emil.
What was the other one, or were they both Lethal League?
1 was Lethal League, the second one was Bomberman 5.
Okay.
And then Tim's was Defeat Bomb Man without dying, Buster only.
Okay.
And Emil's was a one-on-one Pokemon battle.
Wow. That's actually a cool idea.
So yeah, so they went. It was in Pokemon Stadium. So like they each had like the starter set. So like they had, I think Emil's group was like Charmander, Pikachu, Bulbasaur, etc. So a bunch of like the main starters, and then there was like secondary equivalents on the second player.
Mhm.
And I forget which ones got picked, but basically the other player got to go first. They had the weakness that Emil had. So like I think he was water and they were lightning or something equivalent.
Mhm.
He got a critical hit and killed him very first move. Emil didn't get to do anything. It was really
Amazing.
funny.
That's so
It was really
good.
funny. Actually, it was like it was Charmander with flamethrower versus something grass probably.
I'm gonna have to
Oddish.
check
Oddish,
this
that's what it
out.
was.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna have to check that out.
I'll see if I can find the vlog for it because it was on Pax's channel.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can do that after, but I just realized we're doing a podcast and people are listening, so maybe we should talk about what games we've been playing.
I mean, technically, we talked about the panel. That was PAX related, so.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
We're
We're
on.
doing a good job. We're doing it.
We're doing a great job.
We're doing a great job right now.
All right, so at PAX, I played Tumblestone, which was a really cool puzzle game. They actually did a tournament for it too, but I think it was during another tournament I entered or something like that, so I couldn't make it.
I'm just gonna add Tumblestone to your list here.
Yo, can I also say there was a Mario Strikers tournament at PAX?
Okay.
I forgot how fun that game was, and I kind of want to play it again.
Okay. Sure.
Not Strikers Charge, but just straight up normal Strikers.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I got them both.
Let's do it.
All right.
Why not?
It's just Mario Soccer basically. It's just like super goofy fun. I think we had it in the tournament. Both matches I mean were like super close. One was 7-4, the other one was 7-6. So like I barely lost in the last one. And those were 5-minute matches.
Now, if only we could be that good in Rocket League, we might have something.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
We have to work on that.
They had a major.
I have been talking so much shit.
Oh my God, Paul.
So much shit has been talked.
What was I going to say? They had a major Rocket League tournament packs too.
Oh yeah, no, it's becoming an actual esport, and I'm so stoked for that.
It's super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the grand prize at the PAX tournament was like a custom PS4. That was like Rocket League's themed and everything, even the controller.
There's a GIF I have to show you of a guy hitting the ball off the wall and following it across the field in the air, hitting it and doing tricks and then scoring. And it makes me so mad.
Amazing.
Like, it makes me not want to play that game ever again because I'm so far out of any competitive like playing field at all. I'm screwed. People are doing tricks in the air across the whole field and scoring. There's no way. Whatever. Anyways, so Tumblestone, I gotta look into that. That sounds interesting. That sounds fun.
I don't know when that's coming out, but it was really good.
Cool.
Otherwise, I played Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Mirror's Edge 2.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was open world. I haven't been following the development of it.
I don't like Mirror's Edge at all, so I'm not following it at all.
No, fair enough. I still enjoy that. I think it's cool.
Okay. So what makes
like,
this special? What's the cool thing in this one?
I mean, there's nothing really different besides the open world. It just takes place, I think, is it half a month or half a year to a year later?
Okay.
And it's like a direct follow-up.
Okay.
And
yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, all I remember is like you're just like a new group in power or something like that you're trying to deal with. There's a bunch of new like runners that are there. They had all these different challenges that you had to do. Like, all right, now you gotta like run to this certain time point at a certain time. You have to take out these enemies and like move a capsule from one place to another. And I forget what the third challenge even was. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Is this one you're gonna be looking more into when it comes out?
Yeah, I'll definitely get it. I really enjoyed Mirror's Edge 1, even though I'm not the best at it. I had a good time. So far, there's no gunplay, so I don't know. But like at the same time, all I was doing for fighting was like tapping the X button, and I'd either jump off like a railing to grab them, or I'd like do like a scripted combo. So I don't know. It looks like it'll be a good one at least. I'm glad it's getting a sequel. Hopefully, it fixes the problems the first one had.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of problems with it. It was just a personal preference thing, though. I thought it played fine for what it was. I just don't like first-person platformy stuff, so parkour stuff never.
Well, I mean, it's still more or less the same of that, so if
yeah.
you didn't then, I can't see you suddenly changing your mind.
Yeah, I probably won't, but I could see the appeal of it. Like, it's a slick-looking game. Like, the presentation's always been really nice. I just don't like it. I can't get into them myself, but I don't know. I mean, for people, I know a lot of people wanted more Mirror's Edge, and this sounds like that's what this is.
It really is, just with like an open world spin on it. So
cool. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's worth a pickup.
Cool.
Other than that, that's really been it. I've been playing my usual of Record Keeper, Picross, and Shuffle. I picked up a game that you've played, and I think that you've played, and I want to talk about. Haven't had a chance to play it yet. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, okay.
I want to ask you some stuff about this.
Yeah.
First off, I did not play Ground Zeroes.
Okay.
How much am I missing out on? I do have it, but I just have not played it.
Like, literally nothing. I mean, the big thing you're missing out on is if you have Ground Zeroes on PC, you could use that as, like, a demo to see if you can run Phantom Pain, basically. But I figure you're going to be playing it on PS4.
Correct.
Yeah. You're not missing a whole lot. Anything that you are missing, like, plot-wise, you can look up a video on YouTube if you want to, and that's fine. Or there are like audio tapes or logs or whatever you want to call them in this game that kind of explain a lot of shit that's happened in the past, like some briefings and whatnot.
Like I never played Peace Walker, so I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot. But I feel like Phantom Pain might also fill in some of those gaps, or not Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zeroes is literally like a 2-hour tech demo. So
Yeah.
no.
Really? Okay.
It's kind of... So I'll tell you what I don't like about Phantom Pain so far. And it's a total personal preference thing on my part. And it's the thing I didn't like about Ground Zeroes and whatnot as well. Is I don't like just being thrown into a map and then there's a bunch of different objectives. Go, Snake, go. And then like
you don't like open worlds. That's basically what I've been hearing. This is
I don't generally like open worlds. That's not to say I hate all of them, because I'm going to be talking about one in a bit here that I really like so far. What I like in Metal Gear is I like the setup of the almost like 3 to 20 act structure, whatever Hideo Kojima feels like doing in the game at that current time, where it kind of starts off with like, your mission is to do this. And like it's this giant mission that one man could not possibly do on his own. And as you're going, you're meeting a cast of weird characters and getting into trouble, and like a story's unfolding, kind of like an interactive movie with parts that you're actually playing in between. I like that feel of it, a more directed experience, whereas this feels much more in the like grind out dudes so you can build an army type game. That's exactly what this game is. And it's not that that's bad gameplay, because I really enjoy that as well in other games. It's just that for a Metal Gear game, I have a precognition of what I want in the game to happen, and this isn't it at all. So that's why, like, I've decided that my real feeling on this game is that it is a great fucking game, but it's one of the worst Metal Gear games.
Ooh, okay.
If that makes sense.
I've heard some weird, crazy shit happens in it though.
Yeah, that weird, crazy shit is like in the first hour. It's actually really intense. Like, it happens throughout because, of course, it does. It's a Metal Gear game. But that first hour is intense in a way I don't think I was ready for at 2 in the morning after I got home from a late shift. Like, there's some shit going on, man, at that beginning. There's a lot of stuff. But I don't feel like that excitement has kept up for me, because I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've heard someone say like the first hour is crazy, then it like calms down for like 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
And then it becomes crazy again.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, is that it's crazy and it's like, okay, I need to know what the hell's going on. That part's all done great. And then after that, it is very slow and meticulous for hours, because it's, I guess it depends how you play these games. I should probably preface all of this by saying I'm the type of person that when I'm playing these games, I try to go full stealth, and if I get spotted, I will restart the mission completely. So one mission, like the first actual mission where you're rescuing Kazuhira Miller from the thing, like this is weird because I don't want to give too much away to you specifically, or to anybody listening that wants to pick it up. But one of the first things you do is rescue like an old compadre, your old partner. And that mission took me about 3 hours to do.
Jeez,
because I, like, when I first got into that mission, I found a safe space on a rock, took my binoculars out, and just watched for 40 minutes everything that was going on. Like, I play these games very slow, very meticulous, until I've beaten it once, and then I'll just go in and have fun and not care, which is why every time I play, like, Twin Snakes now, I try to go for stupid shit, like seeing if I can let go of a grenade at the last second beside a dude or something, like, because at this point, I don't care. I've seen the game, and I don't have that need to have, like, no, this is, like, the best soldier at infiltrating in the world. This story has to work out perfectly. Whereas, like, I will play a thing over and over until it is perfect. And it's driving me a little bit crazy, because the set pieces in this are way bigger than before. And I feel like there are some spots where they almost expect you to just kind of hurry up and do it. But I'm not that type of person. So it's been kind of a letdown going from crazy, like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on in the first hour, to nothing for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours after that. But that might be my own fault. Like I said, it's one of these things that, like, a lot of people who have been loving this game, I find, have said I haven't played any of the other Metal Gear games, and I could definitely see that. I have played and loved all the other Metal Gear games, and that's why I don't think it's as good as some of those, like, for what I want from the game. But that being said, it's very solid mechanically, and I'm sure it's going to be batshit crazy story-wise when I get, like, way more into it. But for now, it's kind of not holding my attention like another game that I have on this list has been, which I can get to in a second. Oh, okay. Well, I bought Mad Max.
Okay.
And that game is so fucking good. It's not
really.
It's not supposed to be good. It's not supposed to be that good. Okay, think Arkham City in a wasteland, and instead of flying, you have a car that you upgrade to be just badass.
Okay.
That's this game.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it plays very much like a Batman Arkham game. The combat is like the count parry, I guess they call it, not really counter in this, attack, do heavy attacks, and blah, 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 take on a bunch of dudes. A little bit of gunplay, but the gunplay hasn't been too crazy from what I've seen. It's all focused around making these monster cars that just, like, can ram the shit out of dudes, or, like, break down stuff, or, like, harpoon down towers that snipers are in, or, like, just roll across the wasteland killing people, or, like, getting away from people. It is so satisfying the way it does everything, and it doesn't have any right to be that fun at all. Like, it just doesn't. It's, you know, the first time in Borderlands when you get your vehicle and you're just like, yeah, this is great, going through a wasteland and seeing, like, all these bandits and just, like, driving past them and shooting at them and stuff. That's this whole fucking game, only this time you can put guns and bigger shit on your vehicle.
Cool.
Right? It's so
It's
good.
interesting because, like, it's a 71 right now on Metacritic. So,
Really?
Yeah. So, like, well, compared to Metal Gear, that's got a 95.
Yeah, I mean, Metal Gear is the better game. There's no question about that. But Mad Max is the more satisfying, just, like, shit show thrill ride game. So, and that's what I've been kind of more in the mood for lately. It's been kind of a weird thing, too, to go from Metal Gear Solid to Mad Max, where I'm very methodical, taking my time doing every little fucking thing, and taking, like, an hour to move up, like, a kilometer in the game, to just being in a car and just, like, driving into a camp and just blasting everybody with a harpoon gun. You can shoot a dude out of his car with a harpoon gun and drag him behind you, John.
Well, I mean, this is the Just Cause guy, so it kind of makes sense.
It is basically Just Cause Mad Max Edition with Arkham Knight gameplay, like, or fighting.
That does kind of sound cool.
It's really good. It's so good. I don't really know what to say about it, though, because I've been doing a lot of the side stuff. There's, like, a story or something that's going on, and it's Max being an angry fella killing a bunch of dudes and trying to, like, his car got stolen, basically, so he has to build a new vehicle with the help from this dude he met, who is basically Smeagol, or Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. He's kind of hunched back and, like, yes, master, blah, 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 like, just a weird little dude. And you're just creating your magnum opus, they call it, where it's just the car that you, like, turn from a rust bucket to eventually just be a death machine. And to get the unlocks to do that stuff, you kind of have to do, like, challenge modes and side stuff and story stuff as well. So it's one of these carrot on the stick games, which I'm not a huge fan of, but at the same time is really satisfying. Like, it makes you want to come back and do more to get the cooler thing for your car. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It has a hold on me I wasn't expecting, because I don't like open world games that do this sort of thing at all. The setting alone is enough for admission for me, though. Just going across like this sandy, just crappy wasteland with a bunch of dudes you can kill and run over and get upgrades for your car. I don't know. Maybe I should just get like Mechanic Simulator or something.
Something tells me it won't quite be the same.
Yeah, probably not. Although, like, it made me realize Max is basically dude from Last of Us that I can't remember his name, and Nathan Drake and every other white protagonist ever.
Joel,
yeah. He is like every fucking white protagonist ever. He has, like, the same type of drab outfit of, like, a khaki shirt and jeans, like, dust-covered with, like, the gun straps on his chest. Like, he is just... looks like the everyman in every fucking video game.
He's just ready for war.
But, like, yeah. I thought a cool thing is that you can buy upgrades to what you're wearing. So, like, you just start off wearing a shitty shirt, and then you can, like, upgrade that to a better shirt and jacket and stuff. So I'm super stoked to get to that. But I can't really talk too much about what goes on in it, though, because I need to play more. I need to unlock more stuff, and I need to shoot more guys with harpoon guns and throw them across the wasteland. It's great. It's been great, though.
Okay.
I'm mad that it came out the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, though, because since our economy's in the shitter, like, that was the most expensive gaming day I've had in years.
Because, yeah, Metal Gear itself was $75. You probably paid the same for Mad Max.
Mad Max was $62. Online.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, online. Okay.
Yeah, they're both on PC that I'm playing them on.
Yeah, I think I paid $75 for Metal Gear.
Yeah. Pimp My Ride Apocalypse Edition featuring Mad Max is probably the best way to play it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But, like, how does that not sound awesome? Honestly. It's so fucking good. What isn't very good is I bought Deadly Creatures on the Wii. And that game, if you have arachnophobia, like, stay the fuck away from that game, first of all, because I don't have arachnophobia, and I think it's creepy. Just seeing, like, I don't like skitteriness, and that game is full of it because you play as spiders and scorpions and shit like that. And the best part has been so far a boss fight with a rattlesnake. The worst thing about that game so far has been the terrible camera angles and control, because it was done when the Wii was like the gimmick novelty. It's a gimmick novelty game where, like, a lot of the stuff you do is by flicking your wrist a whole bunch. Yeah, and that doesn't translate well to what is essentially a third-person
action game
as a spider, like a third-person brawler. Where you're beating up other spiders and beetles and shit.
Did you say third-person brawler?
Yeah, because it deals more with, like, of course, melee combat moves and stuff. It's not like you have a gun. So, you are fighting other stuff. Melee, hand-to-hand, or whatever a spider has. Tendons.
Hand to hand.
Yeah, exactly. And you fight a rattlesnake, and it's the stupidest fucking fight ever.
See, that sounds cool.
It's stupid. It is basically a QuickTime event.
Oh.
So
not as cool.
I'll just spoil what the fucking rattlesnake fight, the first rattlesnake fight is that it lunges at you 3 times that you have to dodge, and then it's like rattle the tail with the rattle end or whatever, like falls down a little bit off the ledge it's on, and then you attack it because that's its weak spot, and then it gets mad and you have to do a quick time event to dodge it again, and then it like rams its head into a cactus by trying to attack you.
This is the game with Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Yep. There's an actual story going on about like dudes in the desert, and then then you're a spider. It
sounds like one of those games you just want to see what happens next because it's such a dumb concept.
Yeah, it's totally one of those games. I'm definitely going to play more of it. that beginning is hilarious because it starts off with this stupid, like, cliche Wild West thing of, like, they call him the most dangerous guy, blah, 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 or whatever. And then there's, like, shit happening, and then you're a spider in a tunnel. And that's how, like, you have to go play now. It's a dumb fucking game. And I'm so glad I own it, but at the same time, I get a little sick playing it because the camera control kind of throws your vision around a lot because you're a spider in the beginning. So you're able to kind of crawl on walls and stuff, and it flips around all weird, and it's really gross. It's really gross. But don't watch video of that if you do have actual phobias of, like, crawly things, because it will ruin your day. There's a lot of that shit. So I don't know what else to say about that.
I guess that's it then.
Sean played Tomb Raider Go. I played a little bit of that too, so I'm gonna talk for him. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was out.
Yeah.
I also have been playing a bunch of Pac-Man 256. I like it.
Okay, I don't like it.
Oh yeah, how come?
I don't think it controls well for the platform it's on. I don't like the doing little swipes to control stuff. Like, that's kind of why I like Crossy Road, where, like, you do a little swipe to move left or right, and that's it. And then you just tap to move forward. In this, you have, like, different ways you can go.
I was kind of like that at first, then I realized you could just buffer your inputs, and then it wasn't an issue anymore.
Yeah, I don't even like it in Crossy Road, though. The only thing I like for games is to control, like, this is a problem I have with Tomb Raider Go as well, by the way, is that
okay.
I don't like doing little swipes as my, like, the method to control. I would actually, and this isn't even a joke, I would actually prefer a little, like, D-pad area, a digital D-pad to, like, rock around, like, one thumb to move in a game, than have to, like, move my finger in weird directions across my screen. I don't like it very much. Unless it's another game I've been playing called Monster Strike, in which case that game is like pool, and that's fun.
What?
Okay, so Monster Strike, it's one of these, like, pet battle type games or whatever, where you have different pocket monsters, let's say.
What?
But instead of being monsters, they're balls. Like, they're curled up into balls, and they have different elemental powers and shit. And what you do is you pull them back, and then you let go, like you're slingshotting them, and then they bounce around the screen, and whatever they hit, they do damage to. And you can upgrade them and evolve them and do all that stuff. It's real good.
This sounds like a Game Boy Color game that Capcom put out, Metal Robot or Metal something like that. The whole idea was, like, you were in, like, a square room and you had a robot that you just launched around, and whatever you crashed into, he did damage to.
This is, yeah, you're right. That sounds exactly like that, only mixed with Pokemon. So, if you want to play that, it's out on iOS and Android, and it's free. That is a free game. I just like how that plays, where you're just flicking a ball around. Like, there's something really cathartic about it, and just, like, hitting into other enemies in balls and they explode, or, like, even when you hit your own allies, I'm sorry, when you hit your ally balls or whatever, they shoot out lasers or do, like, a little explosion thing. Like, they have effects too, so you can use that to your advantage and, like, knock into your ally to, like, shoot a laser across the screen that'll kill 2 guys at one time, maybe.
Interesting.
It's really, really fun. Yeah.
Speaking of mobile games that are fun, I forgot Triple Triad is officially available now on Android and iOS.
I don't know what this is.
Triple Triad is the card game from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, right. We talked about this like 2 weeks ago, I think, right?
Yeah, it's officially on there now, and
you're addicted.
I like Triple Triad, but then I forgot that some of the rule sets suck on Triple Triad. Like, there's the one rule set where if you put down a certain card and it's got, like, if both sides of it add up, it'll flip those 2 cards, and then it'll do the same thing for the cards around it. So I've, like, all my losses against AI have so far been when I'm not paying attention, and then they get the last card put down. I'm winning 7-2, and then suddenly I lose 8-1 because one card flipped the entire field. Also, it's fucking stamina based.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just close my phone for now, then we'll revisit this. Maybe.
Yeah. It's still fun, but to fight the AI and get cards, you have to use a crystal, and you only get 5. Well, if you get 5 crystals recharge, and you can get a bunch for like winning and doing side quests.
Hmm. Well, if we want to talk card games, I guess I'll just bring up that I play Card Hunter on Steam.
What?
Free to play. Yeah.
What? I don't know why I'm
in,
that.
yeah, in all seriousness, what Card Hunter is, it's basically like an encounter in Dungeons and Dragons where you'll have a party and you can choose what move they do based on like what cards are drawn in your hand for that part. Like it starts you off in the tutorial with a wizard, a warrior, and I think a cleric or something like that, like a healing class of some sort. And you like have a move turn, and then you can play cards to do like an attack or whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird, but it's fun. I just thought I'd bring that up because that game is actually free to play. You can just download that and play that. And I haven't run into why it's free to play. Like, I haven't really gone to see if there's a marketplace where you can buy better cards or moves or something. It's probably in there, but I will never do that for that game. I'm not addicted to it in any way. I just thought it was a fun little thing that you could try out if you like that sort of thing. I just had to one-up you in your card game.
You did it. I've got nothing else to bring up.
Yeah, honestly, I'm reaching for straws. I played Marvel Heroes again for the first time for an hour, and that game is Diablo. Let's move on.
All right, let's go on to news.
So, I didn't add any of this news in here, so we're going to be finding out about this at the same time.
Hooray!
Mortal Kombat X is officially canceled for the 360 and PS3 because, of course, it is.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked that it was even still a question at this point.
To me, it wasn't. Why would it be on those, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest here, guys. That game barely ran well on good computers. It's not going to run at all on the 360 and PS3. That is a really nice game. So, I don't think they could dumb it down enough. It's probably their problem. Also, probably no money, really. And,
Yeah, here's the official statement here. One sec. After months of development, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment has come to the regrettable conclusion that we cannot release Mortal Kombat X for PS3 and 360. Please know our teams worked diligently to make the quality standards set by the current-gen versions of the game. We were not able to get the PS3 and 360 versions to the quality expected of a Mortal Kombat game and are very sorry for not being able to deliver the products as originally planned.
They couldn't dumb it down enough. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, without it looking like shit or being shitty, I'm guessing. So, good on them. That's a good decision to make. If something does not work on something, you should probably not release it for money. That's just good business, I think. Nintendo is now selling digital codes for games on Amazon. Did they not do that before?
No.
I guess they never did they?
No.
Interesting. I kind of don't care about this, but what do you think?
To be fair, for a while, Amazon seemed like they were against Nintendo for a while. There was this weird thing where Amazon removed a bunch of their Nintendo products, so you couldn't buy new 3DSs off of, or 3DSs period off of Amazon for some reason. But I guess that's since been worked out.
Was that was this a Nintendo thing though, or was it because they couldn't keep up with any demand or something? Because I know there was a while there where people were pre-ordering Amiibos and 3DSs a lot and causing a lot of shit by basically going to eBay and reselling them after. Maybe Nintendo didn't want them. Nintendo wanted maybe better control over what products are sold.
Probably. It's probably a mix of that. I'm sure there was some political reason for it.
Yeah, probably. So you can buy codes now, I guess.
Which is weird because you can already do that on the stores.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the idea is they don't always put their games in for pre-order on either system, so now you can do that. Which I guess makes sense. I don't know. It makes sense. I'm sure people will use it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, it's not at all for me either. But that's cool. Ace Attorney 6 was announced. How stoked are you?
I'd be more stoked if I had finished 5 or 4.
Or?
No, that's actually where I stopped.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could say Ace Attorney Investigations featuring Miles Edgeworth.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm excited. It's just I don't know if I have the commitment to sit down and do a Phoenix Wright game anymore.
That's
the
fair.
only kicker.
I really, really like what I've been playing of like Trilogy so far, and
the Trilogy is phenomenal.
And I still don't have the commitment to sit down every day and do a little bit. I just kind of every now and then do a little bit of it. So one day I will be super stoked that this came out, and it will have been out for like 5 years probably. So for everybody that is stoked, you did it, guys. You did it.
Yeah, I'll still buy it and support the franchise because it's like when I do sit down and read them, they're really good reads.
Yeah,
and let's be honest, that's what the Phoenix Wright games are. They're good reads.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. New color for the Vita, aqua blue, coming to GameStop this November. So if you want an aqua blue Vita, you can do that now.
I like how that counts as news.
Yeah,
I mean, it does actually kind of look all right. It's a little brighter blue than I expected, but that's more like a sky blue to me.
I don't like it at all.
It's a little too sky blue.
The weird thing is that when you click on this story to go to the PlayStation blog, I really like their blue background and like the blue they have for everything else.
Yeah.
I hate that blue that they use for the
Hey, I don't know why they didn't use that blue, unless they've already done it.
You know,
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe they did. Like, I don't know. It's a Vita. Who fucking knows? The small new 3DS is coming to North America.
Yeah, a little too late.
Is there still a market for like that because of faceplates?
Yeah, but like anyone who would have been a person who would have switched over in the first place already did it because they only announced the XLs. Like if this had come out when the new 3DS XLs did at the same time, I would have bought the small one because I think the faceplate thing's cool, and because I like the size of the smaller ones. Now I've had the big one for well over half a year at this point.
Sure.
And it's just I've just acclimated to it now. There's just no point going back to a small one.
Yeah.
Plus, I would have to buy another 3DS, which is a waste of money at this point.
Unless you're running a museum of sorts.
Oh my god.
I'm
Yo,
sorry.
if anyone wants to buy it for this so-called museum, then fucking by all means, but I'm not spending my own money on it.
It's true. Also, for the museum, every faceplate that's imaginable for it, official, has to be in there. One Vita for every faceplate. We're just getting to astronomical levels of bullshit right now. That's not... Don't buy... Please, as a joke, don't do that. Please. That I would feel so bad. Xbox One Elite console comes with Elite controller. 1 terabyte solid state drive. Okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of the way the other ones have always gone too. Like, there's always been another version, a bigger version of the other consoles. This is just that, right?
Here's my question: how much is the price difference? Because wasn't that Elite controller supposed to be like $100 or something crazy?
Yeah, probably something like that. I'm trying to find out. It is $500 for that.
So it's back to full price.
Yeah, with a better controller.
Is that US or Canadian?
This is US, so that is like $7,000 Canadian.
That's probably going to be at least $600
if my conversion is correct.
Yeah, that's way more expensive than the 360 was with the Kinect at launch.
Yeah.
But that 1 terabyte does help if you're not willing to just buy like an external.
Maybe buy an external, though.
Yeah,
because you could use it for other stuff if like your Xbox dies. I guess you could probably rip the 1 terabyte out of your Xbox, too. I'm guessing it's just like a Seagate.
They have their own stupid proprietary things. It's not as simple, just slapdash like it is on the PS4. That's the main thing people have issues with the Xbox One and the 360, is that you can't just simply remove the drive and put in a new one. You have to get their proprietary.
That is some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jackbox Part Pack 2, Party Pack. It should be. Let me change that in the file there.
Jackbox Part Pack 2.
Jackbox Party Pack 2 announced Fibbage 2 so far. Okay. That's cool, I guess. Because the party pack did well, so, like, of course they're probably going to do this. Why wouldn't they? Just build on what they've already created that people love. This picture is actually hilarious if you click that link, though, that he put. In fact, I'm going to get an image URL for it and put it in the chat. Because it's just like, the one thing they announced is there, and everything else is pixelated out in the first image. It's so fucking dumb looking. I love it. Like, oh, we can't tell you what else is in here.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
Where was this announced? Was this at PAX Prime? Yeah, it says in the title there.
Yeah.
Yeah, announced at PAX Prime along with Fibbage 2.
Yeah. That picture is so funny, though. It's so funny. And the Shovel Knight amiibo was announced.
Yay, and shown off. They had it at their booth.
Is it nice? It looks nice.
It looks pretty nice.
I definitely want one. I really like Shovel Knight. What does it give you again? It gives you co-op, right?
Yeah, that's what they were saying for the 3DS and the Wii U ones.
Was it for the 3DS it gave you co-op? I thought it was only Wii U it did.
I think it's both because the new 3DS has amiibo readers.
Well, the new 3DS, I think it gives you challenge modes.
Ooh, maybe you're right.
And I think it was only co-op on the Wii U. Like, you can get the challenge modes on the Wii U as well.
That actually sounds right. Maybe you're right on that.
Which is kind of too bad, but whatever. I mean, I want it. I just want it so bad. I saw the video that the Game Grumps did for it, and it was a Game Grumps video. Like, of course, that it was exactly what you thought.
Yeah.
Like, Aaron being goofy.
I heard they tried to show the video at the event, but it didn't play or something weird like that.
Oh, really?
I heard something like that. I wasn't at the actual event, but a friend was, and that's what I was told.
That's kind of too bad. Watching the video is hilarious because there's just like a break in there for applause.
Yeah.
It's so good. That's it for news. I feel like there was probably something else really big that happened this week, but I can't remember it, and I didn't put it in here.
I don't remember either, but someone will probably have us covered.
Yeah, I'm
in the
sure.
Chat. Oh my god, who wrote that one?
The one, Joey or whatever?
Yeah. I'll pass on B-Man's email.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what?
How long that was.
Yeah, we'll take that on. I don't fucking care.
Good. My throat's still a little shot. So.
Mine's not feeling great either, but you know what? We're going to get through this. Anyways, so let's move on to questions. Topdownperspective@gmail.com if you want to send anything in, or TDP podcasts on Twitter are the best ways. I mean, you could go to facebook.com/topdownperspective, but let's be honest, we're not going to see it. Like, wow. I know Sean was trying to, like, keep an eye on that more. It's really hard to, though. Like, if you send a message on there, if you post something on, like, the wall or whatever for the Facebook group, we're much more likely to see it, but the message is we actually have to sign into it, and we don't do that. So that's why we don't see those. Glenn writes in, "Hey guys, my childhood N64 has been having startup and freezing issues for as long as I can remember. Recently, I did tons of research and got to work giving the console a good cleaning by dismantling it, taking extra care to clean out every dust particle from the contacts in the game slot. Sadly, the system does not work any better than before. I'm at a loss what the issue can be. On to the question. Have any of you ever opened up a console for any reason? Love, Glenn." I really like the love Glenn part, by the way. That's great. I mean, yeah, I've opened up every console I've had that has broken. Myself.
I don't think I've actually opened any of my consoles. I've opened up controllers, but I've never opened up the consoles.
Taking apart or putting back together a PS3 controller is shitty. I hate it.
I had to do that with the PS2 controller that got a Coke poured in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They used to make them kind of nice, though, because, like, the top where the L1R1 or L2R2 are used to be kind of like two pieces that snap together. And with the PS3, because they're triggers now for, like, the L2 and R2, there's a little black piece that's supposed to slide perfectly in after you put in the ones, and then like you can put in the back piece, and I always have fumbly problems doing that. I hate it so much. The last thing I took apart was Nathan's Xbox 360 because it was red ringed, and before that, my PS3 got the yellow dot of death thing, basically the red ring for the PS3. I took that apart and reapplied some like of that oh my god, thermal paste. I forgot the name for it because computers don't even really need that shit anymore.
Thermal paste is the term, yeah.
Yeah. So that fixed that back then, but that system's just broken now because it died. Like, it's just so dead. Yeah, I've taken apart every system I've ever owned that has broken to try to repair them or clean them. I've taken apart cartridges, too, to clean them. That's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. All right. Next one comes us from Joey. He says, "Hey guys, so while I was listening to the previous episode of the podcast, I heard you guys talking about the idea of more sit-down restaurants putting arcade machines inside of them. Well, I work at a franchise store of a large pizza chain, and we actually did have a couple of arcade machines in our waiting area for a long time. Sitting next to one of those cheapo play till you win crane games was a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 machine, and besides that was a Neo Geo arcade machine with Metal Slug, Sonic Wings 2, Bust-A-Move, and a joystick that only lets you move right. Sometimes on off times, I would play some of the games that there with one of my coworkers, constantly picking the cactus with a sombrero in MVC2 because he was hilarious."
Yeah.
He was. I don't even remember what that guy's name was.
I can't either. He was great.
"Sadly, the day came to pass when we were forced to get rid of the machines because they weren't making any significant amount of money and only draining our electric bill. In that spot lies only the stain on the floor of machines that were sitting in the same spot unmoved for over half a decade. Press F to pay respects." Ironically, there is a local arcade in a nearby town, Yestercades in Red Bank, New Jersey, if you're curious, that makes pretty healthy business from people of all ages. If not for the various consoles from all eras and the Fix-It Felix machine in the corner, you'd swear you're back in the 80s or 90s. The twist with this arcade, though, is that they have all the machines set to free play, and you basically pay by the hour to play. In addition to the aforementioned consoles strewn throughout for people to play, everything from the Atari 2600 to the Dreamcast to the Wii U is also there. All that being said, though, do you feel like there's a way for arcades to come back in the West if they manage to adapt to the times in similar ways to the one by me? Are there any other ways that you think arcades can adapt aside from turning into barcades or taking up half a movie theater? Also, thank you very much for the microphone suggestions.
Oh, that's this guy. Okay, yeah. Oh,
I don't know, man.
Come back.
I feel like it has to be a combination.
I definitely agree. There has to be a reason why you're there anyway, because just having, like, we had an arcade downtown here for a long time in a busy part of our city, and that died. So, yeah, people
like,
just don't go to them.
It was a super easy place to get to, and it just...
Like, it was on the main train line near a station in the heart of downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it died bad.
And then the one in Eau Claire also died.
Yeah.
That one was a really good one. I feel like it's funny because I think most arcades I see that are still successful have like some other catch, like barcades, like they said. I know there's a place called Round One in Los Angeles that is a bowling alley, karaoke bar,
all right, I'm recording
actual bar, and an arcade all in one.
And
I think there might be something else I'm forgetting about too, but like it's all of those things, and that keeps them active. I think there might have been like a tennis court or like a basketball hoop or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna say no. There's no way they can come back as a standalone product by themselves. Oh shit! I just realized how long this next one is again.
That's why I was like, I don't want to do it.
Great B-Man, we love you, but next time, please maybe pare it down a little bit. Everybody's gonna see why in a second, but here we go. The Great B-Man writes in, "Let's try something subversive this week. Rather than a bad gift from my father, how about, and this might surprise you, a good one instead? I know the humor is going to be lacking this time, but I feel it could be worth talking about, so just hear me out, okay? All right, let's do. Scroll down. Oh shit. Okay. It was December of 1994. My parents had been divorced for some time now, so much of my initial sadness had washed away. And in its place, I was able to reveal the fact that I can enjoy a luxury very few kids growing up had back then and even today. Multiple consoles. While living predominantly with my mother, I would play the Super NES, but when I went to visit my father, he had instead the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. I got to experience two sides of a big console war and expand my tastes accordingly. But I digress. The holiday season of '94 presented me with a most unusual gift. I noticed a box in place where the Sega console usually resided. I knew the device was still intact since there were cables coming from the back. Whoa, sorry, there was something weird that happened on your screen. There was like a color.
I turned on the lights.
Oh, there was like a color palette change, and out of the corner of my eye, I was like, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed how dark it was getting in here, so I just turned on the room light, so now we got shitty lighting again.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I knew the device was still intact since there were cables coming from the back, so whatever was hiding here was definitely still very much linked to the console. For the average reader / listener, I'm sure the immediate thought is coming to mind. It's one of Sega's infamous add-ons for the console, like the 32X or the CD. If that's the case, pat yourselves on the back because you're kind of correct. However, it is probably not a device many are actually familiar with. Upon opening the box, I was greeted by something far more engaging and entertaining. The Sega Channel.
Ooh.
The Sega Channel is so good. To describe this as quickly as I can to those unfamiliar with the device, it was basically a streaming service for video games long before there was even an official streaming service of, well, anything. It would connect to the cartridge slot like any other Sega game, but it had an additional wire on the back that connected directly to your cable outlet. Using whatever cable TV provider you had, you could connect to the service and download one of 50 different games, rotating and changing every month. Downloads took several minutes, but when done, the full game was there and ready to play, no strings attached. My young mind was absolutely blown away by this idea, and it remains probably the coolest gift my father has ever given me. Well, next to getting a car, despite not having a license, but that's a story for another day. Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy has, like, all the stories. I need to know about this car, by the way, B-Man, so just a hint. The advantage was obvious. I no longer had to go to any sort of retail chain to purchase a game, nor rental store like Blockbuster or Jumbo Video.
Man.
Yeah.
Jumbo Video.
I know, right? Let's see how many Canadian listeners remember that store. Free popcorn for the win. Yeah.
That was the best part, easily.
Yeah, that was actually the only reason to go. New games to play were available right at my fingertips. You could navigate the menu using the controller and surf through categories, more benefiting of an actual television network rather than a video game company, with things such as sports, fantasy, sci-fi, and even young children as examples of genres. I was able to try out titles I would never even have considered, some of which had us ending up purchasing a retail copy later down the line so we could play it forever, such as the console version of Bullfrog Productions' Theme Park, a favorite with every member of my family. Of course, it wasn't without its drawbacks. At $15 a month with a $25 activation fee, the service was seen as fairly expensive at the time. For those who think that doesn't seem too bad, keep this in mind. This was back during a time when gas cost about $1.10 a gallon, 60 cents a liter. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, what would $15 a month been equivalent to us? Maybe closer to, like, 60?
He's got it, like, written down here, too. Like, inflation-wise, that's more about $20-25 a month.
Oh, yeah, $20-25 a month with a $50 activation fee. That's, yeah. I think it would be more than $25 a month.
I think it would be, too. It would probably be 30 at least.
At least.
It would probably be double.
It'd be closer to 40, I think. Because, like, yeah, inflation. Anyway, and since it connected via cable outlet, it also interfered with television, so if you wanted to download a different game, you best do it when nobody wanted to watch TV. Once the game was downloaded, you could unhook the device from the outlet and they could watch TV just fine. Games with saved data was also deemed unreliable and would delete after a day or two, so big RPGs like Phantasy Star were out of the question. But the most obvious flaw was the timing of the service. Having been officially launched in December of '94, this meant that in just 5 short months, the successor to the Mega Drive, the Saturn, would launch in North America. While my father never jumped on the next console that quickly, the fact that Sega was ready to move away from the new console meant that this service was essentially being sent to its doom, or to the new console, rather, meant that the service was being sent to its doom. The Sony PlayStation also being released in '95 in North America doesn't help with matters either. 3D gaming was a new hotness, and the Mega Drive couldn't do that. On July 98, the service was finally put to rest, lasting only 3.5 years and peaking at 250,000 subscribers. That's really high. I thought it was way less.
That's pretty good for a service back then.
I thought it was way less than that, to be honest. Nevertheless, I've been thinking a lot about it and how it was ahead of its time. The internet as we know it today was just barely getting started, so the very notion of having something come straight to you in the comfort of your home was incredibly marvel and innovative to the average consumers. How do you guys feel about this little piece of history? Could there be a future for a service similar to this one? Do we already have that in the form of... Yeah, you kind of answered it here. Do we already have it in the form of PlayStation Now?
We do, but it's not nearly as affordable.
Oh,
because you have to pay per game on top of the fee you pay to actually have internet connection on your PlayStation to begin with.
Yeah, see, Villain is even saying I think that was more like $40. The early 90s. Shit was, like, money was actually worth something at one time, especially, like, being Canadian in our economy now. It's hard to remember that you could get really far with $10.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Yeah, we grew up in the wrong time period. But then again, our paychecks at that time would have been like $80.
Yeah.
Like for a part-time job as a kid. So that was like one game, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I had the Sega channel. And it was so good. I did. That's how I played most of my, like, random games when, like, sometimes I still get the thing where it's like, hey, remember this game? It's like, yeah, I played it. And people are like, what? The games that nobody remembers? That's how I played them, was because when you had nothing to do on the weekend and you had the Sega channel, you had every game at your fingertips, basically. Although I played a lot of Beavis and Butthead. I really liked that game on that system. I don't know. I had no like, that game's stupid. It's kind of like a puzzle game, too. Maybe that's why. I kind of liked puzzle games back then. Like chess. I played a lot of chess on the Sega channel.
I definitely wouldn't compare chess to Beavis and Butthead, I'll tell you that much.
Probably, right?
As someone who's played that game within the past couple of years, I can confirm that it's not.
Yeah, yeah. Sega channel was great, though. He is totally right. It did have its problems where they basically shouldn't have had an RPG category because those games were too big to download right away anyway, and it would delete after one day, basically. The, like, save data or whatever it was. So, yeah, man, that was brutal. That's why I never played a lot of I don't even know, like, a lot of RPGs that were good on the Genesis because of that reason.
There weren't even that many, though. There was the Phantasy Stars and, like, the... what are the strategy ones? Shining Force? The Shining Force games?
Shining Force, yeah.
And then there was, like, weird random ones like Sword of Vermilion.
I mean, like, you could totally get those games if they were offered and play for like a few hours and try it out, but that's not what you wanted to do. What you wanted to do was download Comic Zone and play that a whole bunch because, like, it didn't matter how far.
Comic Zone was pretty good, though.
Comic Zone was pretty good, or Vector Man. Vector Man was another one.
Yeah, good choices.
Yeah, it had some good stuff on it, like actual legitimate games. It didn't just have...
Then there were the ones you could only get on that service, like the Wily Wars. Mega Man: The Wily Wars.
Yeah,
yeah, that was only a Sega Channel game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 only Sega Channel games, and that's the best known of them.
Yeah, no, you're right, because they actually released that as a like hack you can buy later.
Now you can get homebrew hacks.
A homebrew of it. That's right. Yeah, I forgot all about that one. Huh. I never played it at the time though. Anyway, yeah, Sega Channel was great, and there is absolutely a way that this could happen these days, but it will not because people are greedy, and
Yeah.
if they can get $60 out of you, they're not going to give you a game for a $15 subscription fee.
Yeah, Nintendo and Sony are in the best positions for it, and neither one will do it because they just make too much per game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. PlayStation Now is the closest you will get, though. Like, subscribe to Sony and they will throw you a bone, basically. And they've been doing decent at it. I think it's like, as far as alternatives to this type of thing, that's the closest thing that does it well, I think. I think Games with Gold or whatever is fucking terrible. Like, they've released such bad shit for that, but whatever. Alternative question, what other things, hardware, software, would you consider to be ahead of its time? The Game Gear, besides the battery life.
Yeah. Um, on the similar vein from like the Sega Channel, the Satellaview, Nintendo's equivalent of download service.
Mm-hmm. I never used that, though, myself. I can't talk
Well,
to
it was Japan only, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
Trying to think of what else. I don't even want to say the Virtual Boy because it really wasn't.
You mean Oculus Rift version 1?
Exactly. Version point one, you mean?
Oh, man.
What else?
I tried one of those in, like, a Kmart, and I thought
Oh man.
I thought I was going blind.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it was
remember
terrible.
playing. Someone brought theirs to the university one day, and I remember trying to play like Wario Land. That Wario Land game on there is actually pretty good,
Okay.
but playing it like that sucks. So it
I
sucks
bet.
that like the best game on that system is probably that Wario Land game, and there's never been any other way to play it besides emulating it, which I don't even remember where Virtual Boy emulation's at because it's got to be like the lowest priority.
Yeah, probably. The Dreamcast, somebody's saying. I feel like the Dreamcast did some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was the first console I remember properly doing online, even though the Saturn had it.
Oh,
Because there were
yeah.
like, yeah, because you could play Daytona USA Championship Edition online if you had the right version
Yeah.
on the Saturn. Oh man, Dreamcast made so many strides for things, and then it just got shit on, and then every other console just picked up the slack.
Steam was hugely ahead of its time, offering a storefront for games. Like that started off with like, we're Valve, we want you to buy our games, you can buy them all here. And then other companies being like, hey, this is kind of cool, you want to sell our shit too? Like, that was really big at that time.
Yeah. Even though people hated it at first.
Oh yeah, I remember that too because I played Counter-Strike when that shit like came out. It's like, what do you mean I need this fucking program? You know what? It was actually very similar to how people feel about Origin and like Ubisoft's Uplay and stuff. But it's worse now because there is actually one place people can just get all this stuff, so they're mad. They're even more mad that there's competition for it now. But that's a whole different thing for a whole different day.
All right, what do we got left on the question list? We've got two more. One comes to us from Henry. If you were to be Fultoned, willing or willfully accepting of your new job at Big Boss's mother base, what role would you fit most?
Research and development, probably, because I don't want to die.
Cardboard box management?
That's exactly what it is. Research and development. You find out how to make a cardboard box and send it to them. So yeah, that, because that would be fun. I probably wouldn't be the best suited to it because I am not a scientist, but you know.
Why not?
Yeah. Video Shinobi, last question. Hey, it's Video Shinobi here, and my question is this. How do you feel about physics-based RPG strategy games like Monster Strike? I can't remember if this was brought up on the podcast or someone else, but somewhere else it's got me hooked. It was actually brought up by Total Biscuit on the Co-Optional podcast about 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's where I heard about it anyway.
Is he playing it?
He played it. I don't know if he is.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But yeah, he was talking about it a little bit. And I was just like, Monster Balls, I'm in. And yeah, it's real fun. The physics. Physics-based RPG strategy games, that's such a weird genre to, like, that's so specific. I don't really know how to feel about it, but I like Monster Strike, so I'm gonna say I'm for them. What's your opinion on
I
physics-based
haven't played
anything?
them,
What about
but
like
I'll say
Pool? Think Pool. It's basically like that.
I like pool. I'm
Okay.
down with that.
Okay. I like Pool. I'm down with that. John 2015.
Write it on the box.
Yeah. I think that does it for this week, though.
Yeah,
Kind of a
that's all the
shorter one.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how we had 3 pages of questions, but like 1.5 were just B-Man's question.
I love every time he writes in.
He has good stories. I
He
gotta
has
give
some
him
good
that.
stories. If possible, please take a full paragraph. Like, this was one paragraph too long, maybe. Because it's taken up an actual page and a half in our document by itself. But we appreciate it. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I'm going to say that Sean appreciates it as well. I feel like there was something else to discuss, but I don't remember it, so it's totally not important.
Nothing's coming to mind for me either.
Somebody made a bingo card. So
Oh yeah, wasn't that Konagami?
I think you're right. I'm just going to quickly look up our... It was Konagami, yes. So if people want, they can do that at some point. Kind of ridiculous. This is so dumb, like the dumb things we do.
It's funny how it's so distilled of like the dumb things that happen on pretty much every podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Resident Evil is mentioned somewhere, but I don't mention it that much. Come on, guys. I like that game.
I love how one of them is John's still playing Pokemon Shuffle and Picross. It never stops. No one stops the Picross Shuffle train.
I love the Sean talks about how much he hates Hyrule Warriors or Codename Steam. Oh right. What's your game of the week? You have two written here, so
yeah, I guess I'll say Mirror's Edge.
Okay, I'm actually gonna go with Mad Max. That hurts to say. So bad. On the same week that Metal Gear Solid 5 came out.
Amazing. You're like one of the few people saying that too, probably.
It hurts so much. It's just that Mad Max gave me the experience I actually really wanted and I didn't know I wanted. Whereas Metal Gear is giving me the experience or like a distilled version of the experience I want, but not fully. Like, I don't know. God, that hurts. I feel dirty now. We gotta go. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys next week. Ooh, I won't be on though.
Oh, John won't be on next week.